In this video, we're going to be talking about the best lenses for wedding photographers. Hey, what's going on guys? It's Andre Brown and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the best lenses for wedding photographers. Now, if you've been following me on any of my other social media platforms, then you know that I've kind of talked about this topic before. And if you aren't following me on any other social media platforms, give me a follow. But today, I'm going to be giving you my breakdown on the best lenses for wedding photographers and telling you when and how I use them on a wedding day. Now, first up is the Canon 14-35. This is my go-to lens for all things environmental portraits, whether I'm shooting something architectural outside or maybe I'm shooting something architectural inside, and including any landscapes, like maybe if I'm out in the desert and I want a wide scape, then the 14-35 and in the past 16-35 are my go-to lenses for that type of shot. Now this lens is an f4 lens, but so is my 16-35. And if I'm doing anything environmental, it really doesn't matter because then I'm probably turning my f-stop up so that I can capture more detail in whatever the structure is that I'm trying to photograph. This is also a great lens for when I'm shooting reception party dancing. It's super lightweight. I can shoot at 14 or even get into 35 and kind of work my way around the dance floor to be able to capture pictures of the guests having a good time. Next up is my all-time favorite, the Canon 70-200 2.8. I absolutely love this lens. The amount of compression that I'm able to get when I take this lens out to 200 and shoot my subject, it doesn't matter that it's not a 1.2 or 1.8. When I take it to 2.8 and I take the focal length out to 200, I get a nice creamy buttery background in any photos, whether that's couples portraits or group photos. I have been known to use my 70-200 to shoot groups. I just get as far back as I possibly can, sometimes even across the street, and I'll shoot that photograph with as much compression as possible. This is still, after 8 years of photography, my go-to lens. Now, in truth, most of the time I shoot this lens at f4, so I do get asked from people all the time, should I just get the f4? Most definitely, you can do the same thing with the f4, but for me, I just got the 2.8 because at the end of the day, if I'm in a situation where I need that extra stop of light, I have it, and I don't have to make that up by changing any of the settings in my camera. I also use this lens to get great photojournalistic shots as I'm moving through the ceremony or through the reception space. This is always the lens that I grab when I'm shooting on the flanks during the ceremony. So over the shoulder of my bride and groom during the ceremony, that way I can get their reaction as their partner is saying their vows. And again, this is a great lens to be able to get those photojournalistic shots of the guests and the family members as they're having moments during the ceremony as well. Plus, I use this lens to capture detailed photos as well. And last but not least, my new favorite lens, the Canon 28-70 2.0. Now, the 28-70 is a fantastic lens, not just for weddings, but also for portraits and boudoir. This is a newer lens by Canon in the last 2 or 3 years, so most people typically opt for the 24-70 2.8. But even though that this doesn't go to 24, I have my 24 here in this 16-35, but the look that I'm able to get from this lens is just super buttery. It's extremely sharp, just like a prime lens, without having to have the headache of changing lenses from 35 to 50 to 85. And since I do a lot of bridal boudoir sessions, this lens comes in clutch because it is literally the only lens that I take in for that session. Now, the 3 of these lenses all come together like Voltron to form what's affectionately known as the Holy Trinity. And that's because I can cover all focal ranges from 14 up to 200, and that leaves me lacking for nothing on a wedding day. Now, as an honorable mention, I do think that all wedding photographers should have a 100 macro as well. Yes, it's predominantly known for getting ring shots, but it's great for portraits, it's great for shooting details, and the images that you get from this are awesome additions to your client's wedding gallery. But when it's all said and done, personally, I think that the 14-35, 28-70, and 70-200 are the only lenses that you need as a wedding photographer. Now, I know that there's gonna be some prime shooters wanting to smoke in the comments. As always, I'm here for the smoke. Meet me in the comments. Now, if you're a wedding photographer, I invite you to join me in the comments as well and tell me, what are your go-to lenses for wedding photography? Are you a prime shooter or are you a zoom shooter like me? And if so, out of the lenses that you have, what is your go-to lens on wedding day? And as always, I want to thank you for stopping by the video. And if you like this content, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel and come back and check me out in the next video.